Others, and we often see this with younger generations, is through the mating. Somehow we believe that through the mating, the intimacy or the frequency in which we have sex with someone, somehow that aids us in coming to understand them. But there's a problem with the relating and the dating. Well, because you can manipulate that. You can go on as many dates as you want, and mating, well, you can mate with someone on a first night basis. Welcome to the Dr. G.O. White Show, where we explore the vital role of Black fathers in strengthening families and building strong communities. I'm Dr. Gary O. White, your host, and today we're going to focus on where the relationship all begins, through the dating, mating, and relating. So how do you know if the person you're with is the one? I mean, if they're really the one. And how did you arrive at that conclusion? Was it when you first started dating them? Or perhaps you arrived at that conclusion through your mating? Or maybe it was the result of taking the time to get to know them and relating. But really the question is, what comes first? Is it the dating? Is it the mating? Or is it the relating? In a recent study I conducted, I asked 300 men and women which comes first and which should come first. Well, when we asked which comes first, many of them without hesitation said the mating. And then I asked, well, what should come first? And then the responses varied from dating to relating. But I want to challenge these three because I think for anyone who seeks to establish a strong relationship that we really need to understand what's the difference between the dating, mating, and relating. So when it comes to dating, we know you can manipulate that. You can go on as many dates as you want, as frequent as you want, and through that process, somehow you will get to know them. Others, and we often see this with younger generations, is through the mating. Somehow we believe that through the mating, the intimacy or the frequency in which we have sex with someone, somehow that aids us in coming to understand them. But there's a problem with the relating and the dating. Well, because you can manipulate that. You can go on as many dates as you want, and mating, well, you can mate with someone on a first night basis. But relating, on the other hand, is something that takes time. It can't be manipulated, and it's what I call held hostage by time. Because relating is that process of actually getting to know someone. And the relating is critical because oftentimes people say that when you meet someone, you don't meet the real person, you meet the representative. Well, I argue you meet the person that you're supposed to meet at that time. In the relating phase, when you're first dating with someone, there's no need for anyone to be open and honest with you to a certain degree. She doesn't need to tell you that she was molested as a child, and he doesn't need to tell you he has abandonment issues with his father or family members. No, that's something that comes over time. And so in the dating, mating, relating, we emphasize the importance. If you really want to get to know someone, focus on the relating. You need to know about their past traumas. You actually really need to know about their family. You need to know if they actually have a history of mental illness. All of that comes in the relating phase. And so what I want to just emphasize to everyone is that if you take the time to build that relationship, strengthen that relationship, and not be kind of persuaded by the idea that because we've made it, we now know each other, we've entered a new realm. Because sometimes mating is just that, the mating. But the relating is important. So I'm going to say if you're really interested in getting to know someone, if you really want to take the time to build a strong relationship, I'm going to tell you to focus on the relating. The relating can occur in the dating, not so much in the mating, but definitely in the dating phase. We can focus and become intentional on certain things that we just kind of want to know about the other person. So I'm going to say focus on the relating. Focus on understanding their family. Focus on observing the dynamics between the person you're interested with and their family, their siblings, or their parents. Look at that bond. That's going to help you understand how they relate. Through the relating, you understand how they handle crises. You know, some people, when things are going well, they appear to be the most calm and honest and virtuous and wholehearted person there is. But when a crisis occurs, that's a little different. You see, through relating, we learn that some people in crisis may come from a family where when crisis occurs, then everyone leave us alone and we work on it on our own. While others in situations may come from a family when a crisis occurs that everybody comes together. What I'm saying is through the relationship and the relating phase, this is what you come to learn, because you don't want to enter a relationship and your family histories of how you handle crises are different. That means an incident occurs and then you rush home and you find out that because her family history says everybody comes together and your family history says we handle it together, and then you arrive home at the family and then everyone is there, and then now a new crisis occurred within the crisis because now you're asking, why is all these people here? Well, that's all part of the relating phase. I want you to know how they love. I want you to learn how they come to be loved. I want you to come to learn how they handle forgiveness. I want you to come to learn how they handle rejection, how they feel about being corrected. Here's the truth about the relating process. 85% of the people in your life have your best interests at heart. Only 10 to 15% of the people in your circle don't. But if you handle those who have your best interests at heart the same way you handle those that don't, it creates a great deal of confusion. This is what the relating is about. So invest in the dating, invest in the relating, but put your greatest effort in the relating. I'm Dr. Gary O. White, and thank you for joining the Dr. G. O. White Show. Hopefully the information that I provided will resonate with you. It will stick with you. And so as you begin the dating, mating, and relating process, take the time and focus on the relating. And when you do, I think when it's all said and done, you'll reach out and you'll say to me, I'll toast to that.